Welcome back to another Division 2 video. We continue playing a Division series with 184 for Strelkovy. Now, this is a fun and interesting one, but it has some issues like many of the divisions we're looking at. But let's get to it. So this division, my general thoughts of it is its main issue is really that it doesn't have any bazookas and not enough tank, or not the right mix of tanks. Right, so this is, it's a Soviet infantry division. It doesn't have any special units, at least in the infantry tab. We have a not very common unit in the AT tab, but that alone doesn't give the division really any edges. But, it would be okay if you just focus on CQC with this. However, just standard Soviet infantry without any special CQC infantry also doesn't really cut it these days to really make it good. It's going to be better than Axis divisions, but, this will be better than some CQC divisions at non-CQC divisions at CQC, but it will not be better than any mid to close range division at those ranges, which is a bit of an issue. So this is kind of where this division falls into, right? It does really only this one thing it can do well, in my opinion, because it isn't really specialized. It doesn't have anything special to it, really. And even in that niche, because it really lacks some unique powers, it is a little bit tricky, to say the least. So this is where this ends up in, and, you have some of your tanks are actually quite nice for this. It's just that you only have those, which obviously limits the playability on a lot of maps quite severely. And then again, not having bazookas, if you're already forced into mid to close range, is quite problematic. So this is, I think, one of the big issues for this division. That is how I look at it. Now, are there any redeeming factors? You have lots of Valentines. You have good artillery in the EA, but it's just, those are things that if the core of your division, which in my opinion is infantry and tanks, are already not really all that powerful, those extra tools can help it, but it won't improve it significantly, right? There's only so much you can compensate if the core is already weak, or at least nothing special. In the case of the tank tab, it is weak despite some good units being in there. It's just not enough, and they're not the right mix. And then the infantry tab is standard Soviet infantry, as I said. So it has some strengths, but at anything at range, it has its weaknesses, and I think this is where it's going to be really problematic, because you don't actually have that much infantry support. So this division will severely struggle with actually having pushing power, because again, it doesn't have the infantry support that you need for a Soviet infantry tab. So yeah, there's kind of my feelings about this division, where it struggles. I really do not think this is a very good division, but compared to some of the other trash ones that we've seen, and this isn't complete trash, this has some playability at least. But yeah, against the other low tier divisions, or some of them, it definitely has something going for it, right? Compared to a lot of divisions that we've seen so far, it is at least functional at its core, which is not something that we can say is true for all the divisions that we've seen so far. So, right. So yeah, you have a bit of all the things you need, or most things you need. So you can already at least reasonably play this. Which, is a good starting point for it. So, as for the build, I do build it Maverick. I think it is not, well, I think you can play it Vanguard too if you want to. And, you have the Soviet tools to get in fast, buy some time, then follow up with the rest of things. You could technically play it balanced if you want to go really defensive, really grindy. You could get enough infantry for it. You could go all in with arty, but I really wouldn't recommend it, for the simple reason that you will lack pushing power already with this on Maverick or Vanguard. If you play this balanced, which means you're playing longer, but you don't get any more tanks, it just means your pushing power drops off severely, and by your strong phase, you're probably not going to be able to actually push much, and that can easily lose you games. So I really wouldn't recommend it, despite some of the tabs having the depth to do it. I personally wouldn't. Speaking of the tabs and depth, by the way, I think just some crucial tabs that could make this a lot better are also a little bit too pricey. It's once again like some of these tabs, like the RT tab, are way too generous. But then, you know, you could get in with more infantry, make this a really strong actually by taking a lot of CQC, or these guys for rushing as well, or these guys for a little bit of spam. So, you know, you have all these options, but you kind of stuck with, you take the usual supplement of CQC and range and the leader, and then it's already pretty much full. And obviously tank tab as well, so you can't even, you know, they're not numerous, but you could get some more tanks in, but you can't even really do that. So this is where this division really suffers. As for the build, in recon depth, there's not that many reasonable options. We do take a sniper that good for having some additional recon and disrupting your opponent in the opener. If you prefer radio for your artillery, you can definitely drop them and just take the archer spotters in here. That is also a valid approach. Now, you could also do this with these guys, but I prefer having, you know, the 50 cal there, especially since it helps a little bit with pushing. BA-10, I think, doesn't need an introduction. It's a nice support tool against light armor. Valentine, same kind of thing. Now, obviously, those kind of feel the same role, but the Valentine is quite a bit better at this, and we definitely need all the armor we can get since they don't have that much. And, you know, even this armor is good, better at supporting our infantry for pushes than no armor. Infantry tab. Lots of choices, not that many that are, in my opinion, seriously to be considered. So we have our tanker that we're going to take because it's a good unit. And then in B phase, I take the AFTO. And that is it for CQC, except for the superior, which I also take in A phase, so that we have a little bit more CQC from the start that can hopefully help us to get going sooner. I would really love to fit these in, but I think some actual more proper CQC is going to help us more in the long run, which is why I go for these. I'm actually seriously considering switching those for AFTOs, and the simple reason, so the reason why I wanted these originally is we have a little bit of hybridness. The reason why the AFTOs are maybe better is because in A phase, looking at the tank situation, we might want to go defensively, and the AFTO is really good for defenses in town. Better than the Tanko, because this thing also has JT grenades, so maybe we're going to do that. Obviously, the parries have their advantages as well, but maybe we're going to go with the AFTO instead. This could actually also be used for this, you know, spread some of these around with the Panzerfaust, and PPSH can still force units off quite nicely. So you don't use it for rushing, you use it more as a defensive tool. Instead of the AFTO, maybe that's one way where you can also put them in here. Just considering it, they do have the shock as well, so maybe we could free up some cheaps and then make it work, but let's keep it at that for the moment. Then, you know, Strelky DPs in A, B, and C phase. We have one card of Strelky SVT, which I take with the half track. As always, I like it with this instead of my CQC, because these can actually use it, and Strelky SVT is definitely better than the Strelky. The SVT actually makes this decent for 20 points, and then with the half track, it's actually quite usable. Leader, I go with the 20.1 because, first of all, it has a Panzerfaust, and we get 4, which we would also get with this one, but this one doesn't have a Panzerfaust, and I think it's a massive game changer since we don't have any bazookas. Tank tab, this is where it's going to get tricky. So this division is not easy to build. Just want to have to clarify that. I take the Valentines in B phase because this is the only thing that can actually properly kill medium tanks. So, sounds horrible to not take in A phase then. Well, here's the thing. In A phase, I want to go defensively. In the phase where I want to be pushing, I want to have a tank that can move forward and kill other tanks. I don't want to have to push without any support by a tank that can kill another tank. So in A phase, I go defensively, that's the plan, and hope to use my AT tools that I have, and the lighter armor where it is working with them. And then in B phase, I take this. Now this we have to take in A phase then, because this has at least some penetration, and the Steward is just a nice little extra for some support already. I would love to have them in B phase to have better infantry support, because the Valentine is not that good at it. But I just feel like if we move that to B phase 2, we're going to be too weak in A phase. So we're going to have to see how this works, and then maybe we shift it around. Actually, let's try it. It's a bad idea, but I want to see how well it, you know, how it really works, if we can potentially afford to do that, because it would help us in B phase with pushing. I just fear that we don't have enough armor in A phase, so this is why I don't really want to do it, but I kind of want to do it, yeah, for pushing power. Support tab, pretty standard. We take Maxims. I take some in B phase as well. You might want to drop those if you want to. But yeah, 50 mil, max aim, support gun, ammo, flamer, nothing special there. Don't take a command, I don't have enough leaders anyway. Now, if we don't want to take this is the problem. We can't really afford anything meaningful, but we could definitely take more snipers, or we could take more arty. But I think just having more maxims at the end of the day is well worth it. AT tab, so this is where I think it's going to get a little bit controversial, because since we're going in very defensive, having more of these is probably better. Now, they're very limited in range, but ultimately, you know, we're not that good at doing range stuff anyway, so we just stick to what we can do. This and A or B phase is another one of those things. We might need to hold, and we don't have an endless amount of Valentines. They're only tanks that can do something, so I kind of don't want to take them in A phase, because we might need them to hold in long games. But maybe it's actually better, because honestly, we might really struggle without them in A phase. Then these guys, do we really need those? I think it's a mistake not to take them if you play this for quick play, because it at least gives you some, some pressure if your opponent doesn't have anything for the 2k, or you can even use them up close if your opponent doesn't have many things that can actually pen this up close, and then you can use this against tank. You need to surround it nicely so that things can't just push up and side shot it, but I actually think this has some value in this division, and any armor really helps it. Now these guys, we want to rush a little bit. It's for disruption at the start. I like to do that a lot. AA tab, actually quite decent. So we go in heavily, because the one thing we cannot have is our assets being bombed. We're already limited anyway. So two of these are, I think, a no-brainer. Maybe it's a bit overkill, but this I actually take more as an AT tool rather than an AA tool. And this is simply here because it gives us cheaper AA options when it's suitable. Maybe it's overkill. Maybe, you could drop this, then you get 2 more points. So, there's different ways of building this. Again, I say this division is hard to build, in my opinion. It's not that easy to find the right combination of tools. Because, for example, we could drop this. We could drop the Maxen for 4 points, also fit the Steward in. Then we have some more Stewards in A phase. That would also not be a bad idea. So, it's just, as I said, it's not easy to build. I'm not sure if this would really be better. Maybe it actually would. Although the 3 Stewards, I don't know. Let's stick to this. If we end up not actually using the maxims, then we can go back to this. Soviet AA kind of needs a little bit of help, so having the 25 mil is really not that bad of an idea. So we can do it like this at the moment. And then the artillery tab at least gives us some support options. So we have some long range artillery, which is good, which we do take. This thing I take to have some 2k achieve needed. It also gives us extra AT, which is quite useful. And then the F22, you all know that whenever I have it, I like to take it if it has radio, because I think the radio is quite nice to have. And it's the same price as the SIS, which has a higher rate of fire, but I value the radio a lot. And then the off map, again, we said it, we struggle with pushing power. This thing gives us pushing power, so we would be stupid not to take it. Air tab. Some interesting things here as well, but unfortunately not that many good ones. So we have different IL-2s, and they're mostly bad. This thing, to my knowledge, I haven't actually tried it in quite a while. It's not that good. This thing, like, I'm already not a huge fan of rocket blades, but they can sometimes be useful. But this one, I really don't see it. It's an IL-2, it has very good resilience, but it's still not super fast, and the rocket loadout is nothing impressive. So I wouldn't really bother with this, to be honest. We do take the recon one though, because that's always nice to have, and we might need it for our AT plane. It can also do some fighter duty against some low resilience recon plane that your opponent brings in, so that's useful. Fighter, maybe not needed with the good AA that we have, but I still like to have them around. Now this thing, so look, here's the thing. I just want to see how well this actually does. I think it's probably not going to be that good, but I just want to try it again for fun. The serious option would be this one. It actually has decent speed for a heavy bomber. Very good resilience, obviously, and it is quite affordable, and one should do in A phase. This one I wouldn't take. The simple reason is, look, the loadout is fantastic, but it is just too slow. It gets stopped and or killed quite easily, so I just wouldn't bother with these. I really don't like these really heavy but very slow bombers. More often than not, they tend to not do very well, so I I wouldn't take it, honestly. I think some HE support is nice, so the IL4, this IL4 particularly in A phase would be useful. I just want to go for this and see again how it does. It's probably going to fail as miserably, and then we're going to switch. The L2, it's another one of the bad L2 tank passes, but honestly, with this division, it's better than nothing, so we're going to take it, and then in B phase, we're going to go with the L4, that is a bomber variant. And that is it. That's my build of it. Again, there's a lot of things that you might want to consider. I have played this division maybe once so far, so I'm not really experienced with it. So this is why we see this, and I'm really struggling with building this correctly as well. So again, there's multiple ways you can change it. You can definitely go with the more infantry rush and get some superb PPSH here. Things that you could remove are these two. You could also drop one of these if you really wanted to. I wouldn't mind having another M45 here, M42 in here, so another 45 mil. That would also not be wrong. You could also take more stewards here. You can change this. So there's a lot of things that you could change. We're just going to play it and see how it goes, and then based on that, try to decide what we would want to change. So here we are on Kustrita playing as Hupoka, who we run into in the queue. He's playing 15 Scott, so we're going to have to expect some rushes, I guess, which is, something that he does very well. So I'm quite afraid of that, actually. Especially since we don't have light AT. Hooray. That's not going to come back to haunt us. Well, it's not really not light AT, no bazookas. But it's not really a choice that we have. So this is actually, just to be honest here, this is the third take. I had one on cell, which, went very smooth, but there was quite a skill difference. And while the game kind of showed well what the division can and cannot do, I think it was not the most entertaining game for you guys to watch. Then I did another one, which was on Slutsk on the bad side versus 18th SS, and that went about as you thought. I basically just couldn't really move because I was outranged by 1750 meter tools everywhere. And I had a crucial deployment, a mistake in the deck that really screwed up my deployment, and that is that this thing actually was accidentally in a regular transport, so in a truck, and not fast. And you can all think about how that goes against the division as fast tools. So yeah, it wasn't a particularly fun game, I have to be honest here. So, and it was also not that interesting because it was just me sitting there getting outranged. So hopefully this one is a good one. I have a good opponent, and it's a map where this division is at least playable. So, I don't mind if it's not a good map, but it should be at least like something like Harashire, for example, which is not where I would pick this first. I think it at least has a fighting chance. Or one of the Urshas, really. I don't know. Even something like Ostrona, which is a bad map, but we have the 2K and we have these things. So, those kind of maps. I'm really fine with anything, but not that stupid. Not one of the Slutsks, because again, with this division, hard to play. Well, Slutsk East, I think, is actually playable. Slutsk West and regular Slutsk from the bad side is really just, there's nothing you can do there, unfortunately. But I think regular Slutsk East could actually be okay, because you have the town to fight over. You have one large 2K area, so you can focus your eyes you wanted to kind of in one area. So, that one actually wouldn't mind as well. But, yeah, it wasn't what we got, unfortunately. So, if you really rushes in here, I do not believe that these are going to make it in time if we send it in there. But over here, they might not immediately get overrun. So, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to follow up with one of these. I have to be careful, his light armor can potentially kill it, but yeah. And then we follow up with these guys, just so we have something over there. So, this is not complete yet, but it is something. So, my initial idea with this is going to hold. I think this is a defensive division in A phase, it just don't have a lot of pushing power. So, you have to build that up, which is also one of the problems if your opponent is actually rushy, playing a rush deployment. If he gets in anywhere, you are going to take ages to actually recover. This is also what happened on the Slutsk game, by the way. So this is just one of the big issues with this division. So we're going to have to make sure that we survive. I, for example, don't really mind losing that flag, but I mind losing this whole position here because I cannot easily take it back. Yeah, with the resource that we have. And over here, for example, we're also going to struggle a little bit to push, but this is way, way better, obviously. So here is where I'm actually going to deploy with some flamers, just to generate, you know, give us some space, basically. Right, we wanna get in there, and we want to be able to start contesting things right away. Might actually do another one and one of these. Now, light armor can still be an issue, so we have to think about how we're going to deal with that. And then this one, I think in here is actually fine. Should be enough range, 800 meter. Yeah, that should be good. Then we need to cover off this forest patch over there, because that is where light armor can easily just move around and generate pressure. So we're going to have a light AT gun over there. Probably going to get some PTRSs in here as well. But this is the one place where you're going to see me getting a little bit more aggressive, because here I can actually get in. It's not a massive advantage, keep that in mind, but it is an advantage nonetheless. Which we do want to make use of. Now we follow that up with one of these as well. And some of these guys. Now, what I'm a little bit worried about is going to be the churches, especially the up armored one. I really do not know how I'm supposed to kill those. So we're going to have to figure something out there. But that's a problem for when we actually get there. I do have to be a little bit careful with the Strelkovy SVT. It's a useful unit, but obviously the half-track is a little bit harder to use in this particular game, because my opponent will have Piats everywhere. So, as for the deployment over there, I think actually, what do we do? So we're going to go with a leader. Going to go with some tankos. And then I want to specifically have one AFTO because of the AT grenade. Actually, we don't need that many tankos then. Then we can get a Strelkovy DP instead and a mortar. We're going to get that in here as well. Mortar can just chill like over there. Oh, all the way around. DP. Now, hopefully he cannot rush right until there, but we're going to have to wait and see. You just go in there. I don't really try to go in super deep. You wanna... Oh no, this is gonna suck because I can't even pen that. Like, the only thing I have that can pen that is this. And I don't want to bring that into CKC range, because obviously the killers that he has... This is gonna be a nightmare. Because I legit, I do not have anything that can deal with them. Outside of this and the other boy, but by C-phase... It's just going to delete everything up close. Oh no. Why? Why do you do this to me, game? Oh. Let's get something in here to cover off this a little bit. And then over here. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So we're going to get AT rifles in here because I kind of have a feeling that it's going to snipe me. Some things there, which is not very nice. And then we follow up with one of these recon tanks, which are super slow, but I don't really know how else we're going to do that, really. Let's get the Maxim in here, cover this off. And this is probably a really bad deployment. I'm leaving this quite exposed, but I don't really know how else I want to... Like, if he rushes in with light armor, which he can do, not really all that much I can do. I could put the Sis in here, actually. That would work. Let's do that then. It's got a heavy deployment for this side then. But I feel like in the town I can actually handle him. So I don't mind that too much. Actually, you know what we should do? What we should do... And we can leave this as is at the moment, I reckon. Maybe we don't need this. the T-gun. I kind of want to keep it because I kind of expect a rush there. If it just goes away, well, if it goes around, my armor is arriving, right? So I don't need the 45 mil. Because one thing that's actually good if you want to hold and be defensive is after those. The opponent walks into those, they go brrr, and whatever was there is not dead. And then maybe we bring a leader here as well. So that we actually don't forget to bring our leaders out, because I do that very often. Did I bring one here? No, I did not. That's okay, we have the... Why do we have a flamer? Okay, so it's unloading there. Maybe I could take a leader instead. If I'm concerned about rushes, that might actually be... Oh, I don't have enough points for it. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Ready. Good luck, have fun. Now, usually I like to bring in a recon plane at the start, but I think I kind of need the points to get a hold in there and get in some defensive positions. He might as well rush me. I think this flag he could potentially get. There's just no way for me to... Like, I can invest heavily, but it's not really worth it for the one flag, right? Here it's a little bit different because I'm out of an entire position. This is why I'm fighting a little bit more heavily over this. Now, what I also need to do next is get a Strelkovy DP, like, somewhere in here. Just to make sure that he can't just bring in... Like, that he can't sneak something past me there. Because this is something that... I don't know if he would do it, but it would be absolutely devastating if it does. And unfortunately, again, this would actually be quite useful to spot where and if a rush is coming. Which, again, I'm very much expecting. But at the moment, it's looking somewhat okay. It's actually looking very okay. Interesting. This is just cheaps. Like, we hear things are coming, but it's also not... It's not really powerful. Oh, there is some light armor there, though. Yeah, there we go. That was right. Oh, no. 17-pounder right at the opener. Wow. Oh, okay. That's a nice little meme play, though. I approve. Oh, shit. Didn't expect he would be here so fast. The Humbre, unfortunately for me, is quite good. So what I'm going to do is quite bad. So what I'm going to do is this. Hopefully generate some pressure, and then we can go from there. I need to pull back from over here, and maybe I can redivert things over there. Alright, let's push this. Now what do you have? Spitfire. I think you can go after that one. Doesn't turn it the right way. And then we need to... Alright. No, can't turn now. Need to commit. Okay. 1 for 1, I reckon. Okay, we held that, which is good. Now we get this in here, just in case. We're gonna get some units in there. We held. Now we need to make sure that we can also continue on. Like... Oh, you should go in there, probably. That is... I actually needed you to do. Might be able to kill that. Not sure if it actually killed the 17-pounder, so better not. Better not test my luck by driving this forward. Okay, it's moving, so we can now start painting things over here. Let's not get too close in case his P gets there. She very well might. And then let's bring in maybe some recon. Let's bring in AA as well, while we have the time to buy it. Showing some nice micro here. He definitely is a leader there. Alright. Oh, it's already out of ammo. Let's get one of these guys in. Let's get a Strelkovy SVT, another one. I knew it. I knew it. Let's keep one of these in here. It's useful. Okay, let's maybe chill here a little bit. That's a honey steward. I can deal with that. That's no problem. Let's actually push forward with this guy here a little bit. And there's some tanks over there. It's good to know. Maybe get one of these in here as well. Okay, let's move him and let's see if that 17 pounder is still there. I don't think he is. Let's get some more AA in here. This is where I'm gonna focus on my push anyway. So, there it is. No, drive. It's not what I wanted. No, it's gonna kill it. There we go. It's gonna kill that now. Can you at least kill the honey steward? Yeah, that's not a problem. I can't really deal with that air force, so I don't think this is gonna be another good game for me. But yeah, we cannot kill that. You cannot kill that. What can kill it is you. So just need to make sure that I keep line of sight on here. Yeah, sacrifices must be made. You are now the sacrifice that needs to be made. Yeah, this is why I say this thing is so bad. Because it is so bad. Oh, okay. You need to stop the Spitfire before it can do anything. Good. Now, the more plane losses he gets, the better for me. So that's a bit of a problem. And him not actually realizing that I have something here is no problem for him. Not a massive one. Yeah, there we go. Because he can deal with that. Now I need to get AA in here as well. With a leader next to it, ideally. I want to bring it to triple that. Yeah. And without any bazookas, it's actually quite tricky for me to do anything over here. Like, even if I still try to trade, it's like, how am I supposed to do that? If I can't kill a tank, I have to buy this. Like, I'm not even joking. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Like, I didn't really think about it, but like, yeah, actually, even just this division counters me. Like, how? Oh, this is so bad. Do I get a sight on it? No, I do not. It's gonna go down. On the honey, so we can see it. Crap. Yeah, this is a disaster. But I guess it's just me not trying to play slow once again, like I should. So let's slow it down. Let's slow it down. Let's get some more EA here. Because he's obviously determined to use his Air Force. So I think one of the best things we can do is try to make sure that he can't easily use that. Now we can maybe deal with that. And hopefully we can kill that honey steward right here. Should have the pen for it. Yeah, there we go. And I do not think it's a good idea for us to stick around, so we just fall back. At the moment, I think I can live with the situation as it is. Should get some reinforcements in here as well eventually. We might be reinforcing. Actually, let's not, leave this out in the open here either. Right. Now, very important. Let's get these guys rolling, because they're going to take ages to arrive at the front line. Is he showing side armor? No, he's not. I'm gonna, just move up here. Okay, it's up and running again. Yeah, let's maybe fall you back. Oh, no. I don't want you to get killed here. Jesus! Actually, let's head on it. Kind of the only chance we have here. Unfortunately, turns the right way, so we can get out here. Yep, there we go. But, this thing is not even... See how crap these guys are? I had two of those going after it, it still did barely anything. It's a bad joke. It's really just a bad joke. But I mean, I kind of knew what I was getting into here, right? It's not like there's any big surprises about the quality of this division and the issues it has, but come on. It just refuses to die. I don't know what I should do here. There's just nothing I can do. It's stupid, but I'm gonna bring one of these in. I don't have another answer. I'm not even joking. I do not know how to deal with this. And it's not like one of those things like a Panther where you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna ignore it because this is where I need to push. And yeah, it's also not that expensive that I can just afford to ignore it. Damn. This is incredibly obnoxious. Okay, we're gonna have to buy an off-map here. Gonna have to off-map our way in. Because I do not see myself winning another way. It's not really realistic here. So we have to think of a way. Let's maybe move this a little bit more over here. And this Valentine can get in there. I mean, it's hammering away. I just not sure. I guess let's move and see what's there. But yeah, we have to continue to build up. The problem is, if we are too slow, he can also start building up. So this is what really worries me here. Is that I do not think that the speed at which we are actually building up our forces here is enough against a balanced player. Look, we can hold against a Maverick player. He's a little bit overly aggressive. But I'm not so sure about a balanced player who actually plays it slow. So that is obviously not quite... Oh, that would actually be quite nice. We could kill that Umbre. This thing is actually really good. Like, for anyone who hasn't known, the BESA is a quite potent AA piece. Sorry, anti-infantry piece. The machine gun. Weirdly enough. Not what you would expect, but it actually ends up being on. Okay, I might be able to get close enough in here. Now escape right here. There we go. Strelkovy SVT did the trick. Funny enough, not what I would have expected, but we take it. We take it. We need the wins. And we need to somehow deal with this right there. Right, one of them is down. The other one is bouncing away. Valentine's doing Valentine things. Okay. Fortunately for us, we do have the AT rifles. I'm not too worried about this. I'm a bit more worried about this though. You might need to micro if there's more of those field engineers. Unfortunately, they counter afters actually just fine. You know, it's assault pioneers, so those we can deal with. Actually, I should have focused the other one. Yeah, there we go. It's pinned. Let's slowly work our way in there. Let's get some of these guys ready as well. I think this right here is my entry point into the map. Don't really see many other opportunities, but this might just work. Now we can actually send them in. Now I don't actually need this anymore, so it just died quite uselessly. That's alright, it happens. Let's get some artillery in. Oh, this is not good. What killed that? This is especially not good, because I can't handle another crocodile. I really just can't. Okay, from over here, we might have a chance of getting in there. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you need to be quite careful here. Alright, let's drop this like right here. And see where we can go from there. The good thing I have plenty of AA now, so that might actually... No, I don't think it's gonna die. Crew knocked out. I can get the Strelkovy SVT in here. Oh no, it's move. It can move again. Yeah, and it got the flames off. No, I tried so hard. All right, let's move on. These in here. These in here. Move through there. Okay, fall back in here. Let's push you around. No, you do not push right now. Right, this is the next place for us to off map. Let's get these guys ready. And honestly, I think we're just going to buy another one. I didn't really use that one here really well, but... Oh, crap. Alright, we got the tick. You need to move. Oh, he got stuck on them. That's good. Let's get some Maxims in here to hold ground. Another after in here. Oh no. Surprise means he probably also has an off map. Unload, unload, unload. Oh, he killed those guys off. How did that happen? He has another one. Are you kidding me? One of them is already problematic enough. I don't need two. Alright, let's get more tanks in. I need support. Wow, this thing is performing today. Finally, okay, got the 15.9, but at what price? That's a real question here. Alright, oh, there's another Churchill, but that's not the good one. So, what did he meant with surprise though? I'm a little bit afraid, not gonna lie. But the off-map made it out. That is slightly infuriating. Not the off-map, the AA. I expected more planes and it never really came, so it's not really what I was prepared for here. Let's get the rest of these guys in. Well, actually, I do have an answer for that crocodile, just remembered. Interesting that he has snipers in there. But to each their own. Oh, is this the 2K one? It is the 2K one. Oopsie doopsie. Probably shouldn't have moved that. I think that was stupid. I want to move that a little bit more to cover. Just in case. And I guess we're going to put you on fire at will. You can clear that out. So the good thing is it doesn't have any more CQC than I do. Oh, you can see the after. Yeah, this is not a problem. Like, what am I gonna do? Oh, I need another one of these. But unfortunately, my good income has ended, so it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. I was going to say I can use my my other thingy, but I don't actually. I can't actually use my AT piece because it also doesn't have the pen we need. Oh, but this thing! Look at it go! Oh, this is the true hero here. Okay, the problem is all the field engineers against AFTOs are really annoying if I don't micro them, which is kind of hard to do here. I have more AFTOs! Forget about that. Okay, let's just focus one plane down. I'm not gonna catch that now. But I don't have the points for another one, so it's just gonna have to wait for a little bit longer, and hopefully that's gonna do. But yeah, it's not an easy situation. No, you're not gonna kill that. You, on the other hand, you might have a chance of killing it, and we're gonna have to buy another one for over there. Ah, this is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. It's one of the most ridiculous games I've played so far. The division is bad, but it is not that bad. But in this specific case, it is really bad. Like, really, really bad. You know, what even are we gonna do here? It's like we need more AFTOs. We need to be careful with them though. Yeah, this is not a problem. It's just an up armored one. Let's maybe pull back until we know, because it could be problematic otherwise. I think it was a bit too early. There we go. Yeah, of course it's an up armored one. Why wouldn't it be? What can you see? And now the aviary, yeah. And I lost line of sight. It's not gonna do anything. Yeah. Well, at least this one we're gonna kill. Thank you. Oh no, it went to cover. I didn't want it to go there. It's a good thing. I have one solution for those Churchills. It's not the one I want, but it is one solution. The best one that I have at the moment. Like it or not. Is he ground attacking? He is ground attacking. But my AFTO can throw the AT grenade and get the kill. I might actually be able to just unload right there. Let's see if we can be so ballsy, daring, whatever you want to call it. And let's look down this road as well. Because the off-map did not have the effect I was hoping it would. But it did more than nothing, so... It's more than I could ask for, I reckon. Come on, let's load right next to it. We can get these guys. Okay, and throw the AT grenade. Huzzah! Great success. Well, that's a play to be proud of, isn't it? At least we can actually engage, so let's see if we can get an angle on it. Oh, got a pen there. That's good. You can't see because it doesn't have recon there. This not having any... Well, there's one way to solve this problem, which is this. And then some more AFTOs. That's gonna have to do. Do you have another... Like, yeah, this is something that I needed. There we go. I gotta use them where, you know, they can at least do something. Oh, it's gonna have motorized rifles there. They're gonna kill the Valentine. No, he missed it. Forced it. But fortunately for us, we do have another Valentine. Alright, alright, alright. Gonna have to get that into a better position. We got a kill on it. Lovely. No, no, no. Okay, it's actually quite funny. Let's get another one of these in here. They can at least deal with the half drags. What just happened? I have so much AA, and it's only one plane. I think it's gonna pay for actually bringing that in. Okay, okay, I got it. I'm gonna bring... It's okay. I'm gonna bring something to deal with it. We can bring the last one over. No, it's only 2k. So the Valentine can actually take care of this once it arrives. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna get there. Okay, so no moves so far over there, but maybe we're gonna bring a tank there just in case it tries to sneak a little maneuver again. Oh. Now that is obviously not good. Good thing is, I have an answer to that. I have more answers to that, and let's bring some of our additional infantry over there. Because we need the 59 again. I'm not sure if I can hold for that long, so rather try to get a hold of this while I still have a chance. Oh, this is not in a good spot. I'd rather have it a little bit further back there. Still have the off map though. Which I think we're gonna drop right there to get that flag back. Right. Still make this hell for him over there. But it's about the only thing I have going for me. So it's not that much. Better than nothing. Better than nothing. Can deal with that. 17 punch shouldn't be able to see it. And we can bring another one of these in. Okay. Do we need to buy this then? There we go. We got the take back. We can actually take this. This is the new one, eh? Alright. Right, got the take back. Yeah, I think at this point I might have lost because I just do not know how I can stop those tanks. Like I have to invest so much for one little tank. It's actually really tricky. Like there's just not that much that I can do. Like holding on for 8 minutes here is gonna be a tough one. Okay, I need to cover this off now. Oh, he was actually shooting at the killers. Damn. No, he's bouncing that. Are you kidding me? Come on. I got a pen. Not sure that's enough though. But yeah, it's another one of these that I just don't really know what I should do with. Let's see if we can push this. Get a 15-9 for a brief moment. And then we might still have a chance. More AT grenades would be really useful, but I unfortunately don't have any left. Oh, you can't just... No. And I've kind of wasted my off maps. It's not a big problem there. Guess an airstrike might be... Broch, what does that mean? I don't get it. Ah, he's talking about this probably. I mean, yeah, it's... Let's just spam away through this game. Like, just need a we just need a single tick somehow for a little bit. Doesn't need to be for long, just for a bit. And we can still win this. Ah, I lost line of sight again. The good thing I actually... Yeah, I went a bit too far here, didn't I? Alright, let's... We need vision. Otherwise, there's just no way we can win this. You can actually surrender all of them if you get in there. If these guys do the job. Just keep the tick. Just need to somehow hold on. No, we got it. Okay. And once again, our IL2s failed to do anything meaningful. It is so frustrating. It really is. Like, I don't know what else they can do. They're already doing the one thing that they can. That's admittedly not all that much. And bring these guys in as well. Just need to hold somehow. Is he stuck? No, he's stuck. He was stuck there the whole time. No, I really needed this to get there. He could have covered off the open. Oh, come on. Like, you just can't make that up. All I need is the single tick. I got it back, but... Jesus fucking Christ. This is so annoying. Like, he constantly gets stuck. This is, you know... I really don't get as... salty as I sometimes do anymore, but... These kind of things really annoy me. Because you're not even doing anything wrong, it's just that the game decides, screw you. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that an off map? It was an off map. Are we still holding? 4 minutes. I need to somehow buy myself 4 minutes. Not sure how we're gonna do that. Oh. Reverse may not be the answer here. Need a maximeter. Oh. Bazooka? Where though? Okay, we got the flag. That's got to count for something. No. We're not going to be aggressive. We're not going to be aggressive. Let's hold this. Let's move him back. Okay. I mean, I'd have a chance here. Should probably reload my artillery piece, but I just can't be bothered at the moment. Let's get another one of these in here. Because he can't do it. Oh, that was my chance. Oh, actually got it. Oh no. Okay, this thing's still alive then. Forgot about that issue. Yeah, let's push him back into position. Fortunately for me, he went a little bit too far here, which means I might be able to punish him for it. Okay, 59, there we go. Just hold it for a little bit. Move you in just the right spot. Alright, let's move you in there. Let's move you in here. Just need to hold just a little bit. Not very well, just a bit. Oh, I can see him. Okay. Oh, the other one died. Let's get another one in. 2 more actually. This is where it's counting now. Got this flag. It's going to be really important. There we go. Now we need to deal with 2. And at the moment it doesn't really look like it's going to do either of those. We can smoke this. We can move this over here. Keep that rifle's distance. And this is an intense one. This is a really intense one. Okay. It's not what I expected when I went for another try, to be honest. Oh, there we go. Okay. I think we're safe. We're good. We're gonna bring this guy, and then we can hold this. The only thing that can take it from us is the tank. That is gone. Good. Because we can't push fast enough. Come on. Tita. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just anything, really. Anything. Boots on the ground. Anything, anywhere. You have more smokes. Just deploy them here. Just need to hold. Okay, I can keep smoking that. I can keep smoking that for as long as it takes. This is the one thing I can do. Oh, no. Can't have that. Just hide behind there. Just need to hold for a little bit. You can hold over there. GG, well played. I mean, he did quite well. Those tanks are really hard to deal with, though, and he used them really well. But, whew, I did have fun at first, but I once again, I fell into the trap of, you know, not treating enough as a challenge, but more as an actual, like, proper competition. Oh, yes, the off-map. But I can hold this, It's okay, it's all good, We take the win. Because that could have been the end of it, if I lost another flag as well. Oh, that was so close. But yeah, I fell once again to the trap of not seeing this enough as a challenge, but to be honest, I had fun at some parts because of the challenge. Like, especially when it was clear that, okay, I could, when I started to be able to get rid of these tanks, like if I think he overstepped sometimes, just pushed a little bit too deep, and then I got my AT grenades off. If he hadn't done that, there was no way I was going to win this, because my AT plane are complete garbage, as you've seen. I had one like in the first 2 games I played, I had one of them each time getting a clean kill on a tank with one run, and then after that they started to perform really badly. But here they really sucked. Like after 2 runs, you would expect them, to kill something, but they didn't. Oh, they're so bad. Yeah, this was actually a really nice push there. I mean, it's kind of the problem with my division, and I should have planned for this in the town, probably with a little bit more AT rifles. But he also was. I always forget that Jeeps on the other side are actually able to get in there, so I went a little bit too deep because I was thinking I could get in there, but I couldn't. That definitely cost me a little bit. But yeah, I forgot about these guys. And it's kind of the problem with this division as well, that if your opponent has fast light armor, if it's where you have your AT guns, you can actually deal with it. But the problem on maps like the Streets, for example, is that there's lots of areas where you can actually move around them, right? So larger, like, all of these divisions that are a little bit more AT gun, the worst enemy is not light armor on any map, but it's light armor on the maps where your AT gun can only cover a small fraction of the map. Like, if you have more open grounds, like in the open, for example, or on the left, it's way more manageable, actually, because you can have an AT gun for every open ground. The opponent cannot really get through with the light armor, but as soon as you can move around, there's so many angles, especially in towns, it's actually quite tricky. And I think we saw this here again, like, he used them to great effect, and I unfortunately did not have the right answer ready to deal with him. 50 more to really save me. That is for sure. This was a little bit of a waste. I did get the 17 pounder, just call in another one. Okay. So then it was not a waste, because I get a 17 pounder, I traded a plane. Or my plane, so I think they're both around the same price, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, the game obviously wasn't that very well played. My off maps were kind of wasted. So the first 2, I think, were okay. The second one was really bad. The second calling it in, I think, was smart, because I kind of expected more resistance, but I could have dropped it in more meaningful places. Like, for example, the small town I was fighting in the end. So maybe saving that up would have been better, because it didn't really give me that much momentum, but it cost me a lot of points. So that was a really, really bad example of using an off map. Yeah, and I think I could have, I think the A-net was actually decent, just weren't really in the right position at times. That was a little bit tricky, but I think it's actually, that part was actually not too bad. I think I used my AT grenades quite well, actually. Now, this actually kind of makes me want to, not take the rifles DP in B phase, because then the AT grenades are actually really useful. But I still kind of think it is the right call. So it's just the one scenario here with those tanks that we really couldn't deal with. Because otherwise our Valentines would actually trade really efficiently in the town, and then we don't need those AT grenades. But having the 2 DP is actually more important, because we can't support our infantry well, so our infantry needs to be a little bit more self-sustainable. So I think in that regard, it's actually quite good. These things did the work, to say. Like, most of my light armor did actually not do that badly. Except the one against the AEC. But those things are real beasts, so it's kind of to be expected. They did struggle with the Valentines, as they should. Yeah, that off-map actually killed someone. It gave me ground that I really couldn't take. Like, I definitely really think, watching this back, or thinking back at this game, that you do need the off-map. Really need it, because you don't have any other means of really pushing. Yes, you wanted to. That was a fun one, but I mean, it killed two churches that I really couldn't otherwise kill, and I think it actually paid off that way. Both of them are not expensive, for 80 points, or 85 actually, to be precise. But it paid off. I definitely could have covered that off better, though. So that was a bit of a mistake there by me. But it's I remembered way too late that I had this there, and shifted it up north. The other one, yeah. So it's good we had it, because otherwise you couldn't have been able to deal with those. I mean, the crocodile did clean house, though. Like, look at this thing go. The AC was also quite annoying. Another church. This is actually, this is a poor one, yeah. That one's getting quite some work from it. I always forget how, important those line of sights from outside the town can actually be. And it's really good. Like, this is a very nice use there by Upoka. This church will also just going ham. AVRE also being quite obnoxious, obviously. The 17 pounder being quite annoying too, surprisingly. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Let's go back to the deck and talk about what I think after playing those few games with this division. So we're gonna do this quick here today, but before we do that, quickly just wanted to add that one mistake that I also made that I noticed later on was that I did, after turning it around a little bit after the botched push, I kinda, instead of trading, which is what I wanted to go defensive and trade, I got a little bit cocky and started pushing again. That's definitely a major mistake, and don't do that. But all the games that I played also confirmed that the way you play this division, in my opinion, is that you actually go defensive in A phase and trade a little bit and then build up. So get your EA ready to protect your push, get some Air Force if you need it, get the support tools out, maybe get all your armor from A phase already out, that you have a little bit of armor ready to make some moves slowly as your income comes in. Get some artillery support ready, infantry, artillery support, all these kind of things ready, and then slowly start moving, get your off map in, get maybe some proper artillery if you needed, all those kind of things. Use your A phase for that, trade where you can so that your opponents hope a little bit weak, and then allow you, which should then allow you to push. A lot of people, when they play balanced, want to gain a little bit of territory in A phase, so you can use that for yourself by going a little bit defensive with Maverick, because Maverick doesn't need to start pushing in A phase. If you can, it's good, but if you cannot, it's also fine. So that's how I look at it. Now, all those games that I've played definitely confirmed some of my feelings on how you should do things, but they also gave me the answer to some of the things I was unsure about, which is really nice. So let's start with the big elephant in the room. Do you really need the 2 ISU-122s? In this game, I did, but can you really say that it's something internal that you need? Yes, in my opinion, yes. So the first game that wasn't Cell, it wasn't needed, but Cell is kind of the ideal case for this division, in my opinion. And the matchup was also good for me, because it was against 25th Panzergrenadier. So it's not the worst matchup for that map, or it's not the worst map for that division, but it's definitely far from the best. And in that, I didn't actually need it, but I got Slutsk once as well, which is really bad for this division. And there I really needed to even get a little bit of a control at range, because it was against a division that didn't have 2k. But even if it's against a division that has 2k, having a little bit of a say there is good, and obviously can help you to take ground if your opponent doesn't have any 2k and you get map with a little bit of open. There's a lot of maps where there is some open. So having a tool there, if you really need it, is a nice thing to have, and it can be really helpful. So I would definitely take it. It gives you more opportunities. And 1 in A phase, in my opinion, is not enough. You can decide to not take that one and take some AT. That's fine, but I would definitely take in B phase the 2, because that might be actually needed. The other thing is this right here. I definitely felt like having these in A phase would be useful, but if you really focus on defense, you can survive with these and your A tools and the L2, which sucks, I know, but against light armor, at least you can do the trick. So I do believe that in B phase there is the right place for them, because they can help you better with supporting infantry pushes than the Valentines can. That's just a simple fact. For pinning infantry, they're way better than the Valentine. They're also a little bit faster, so you have a little bit more mobility. And then the last one, the one that I was unsure about, was the L4. And here's the thing. So what I noticed, it actually consistently performed well in all 3 games. So it's something that was a bit of a surprise. Now, as soon as AA, that's not going to be the case anymore. Maybe a single 20 mil, this thing can still, kind of ignore and do its thing, but if there's more, it will either spread too much, or it will just not get through at all. However, the same thing is true with all our other options. This is not really all that much better. It's a little bit faster, yes, but at the same time, the rockets kind of suck, and they will spread more because it's more rockets. And when it comes to, getting out afterwards, again, speed of this is not really much better. So it's not actually, this is not going to be better at escaping. That's my point. And obviously for the bomber, they're really nothing better than this thing. So that's not going to be a better option. And this thing just doesn't kill anything. So if you want to have some HE tools in A phase, which in my opinion you want, that is really just the best option in my opinion. Simple as that. Good. If you really want to have more infantry, which I think would be nice, or if you feel like you definitely need more AT, you could change things around, but I'm quite happy with it is. No, this is something that you could cut corners, but in my opinion, it was quite nice with the A situation. Now, feelings about the div haven't really changed at all. It is good on some close range map against division that are not good on close range maps, and it can do okay-ish maybe on some close and mid-range combined maps. Again, against division that aren't really particularly good for that, but other than that, it will struggle heavily. Anything with range is really tough. and most divisions are just straight up better for it. One thing that it really hurts, it really is not having a bazooka. We've seen it in this game because there's so much armor around, and your infantry can easily get bullied because, yeah, you do not have anything that can deal with it up close. That is, better than an AT rifle, which is obviously a problem. Now, your armor can, jump in there and do the trick, but it doesn't always work. So that's this. So that's kind of what the division lacks. And yeah, it's not the worst division, but it is very situational. And it just can't beat anything on those kind of maps that is meant to be played on those maps. So its sole strength is to beat divisions on those kind of maps that aren't meant for these. That's it. Now, for those of you who stayed till the end, you can as always wish for the next division to be played. But this time we're going to change it up a little bit because, I love those low tier ones. But for once, let's play a better one. So we're going to go B+ or above. So ask for any division in the comments that is B+ or higher. And one that gets the most comments or upvotes under the comments or a combination of both will get played. And yeah, let's see what it is. So thanks for watching. Have a great day and see you all in the next one.